Well, I'm going to show you a quick way now of upcycling and making some jar lids fabulous. Now, I have a lot of stuff in jars around. I have sequins, I have different pieces and that, and the jars are a little bit boring. These are just things like that was a patat curry jar, that was a Branston pickle jar, and I have no idea what was in that jar. There are a few rules that are really important to follow whenever you're going to resin on metal like that. So the first thing is, I'm not going to resin onto the jars, but you can if you wish, but I'm not going to do that today. That jar had pickled onions in because I can still slightly smell it, so that needs a good wash out again going through the dishwasher. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm taking a 220 grit sandpaper and I'm going to give the lid a good sanding all the way around. Now, if you don't do this, what you're going to find is that the plastic or whatever it is on here and the metal is not going to make a very good key in the first place for whatever you're going to put over here. Now, if you were to resin straight onto this, it would probably, that resin would probably pop off, similar to it does in a mold, quite quickly. So I'm not going to do that. I'm giving myself a bit of a key to start with on all of them. See, that one's got a plasticky finish to it. If you wanted to, you could do this on your sander, but this is just as quick. I'm not getting that out for that. And then thank you, Vance Brown, as well. It was his request. He said, could you do something where you're upcycling jar lids? I thought, yeah, I will. Of course I will. If you've ever got any requests or anything like that, then let me know. Now, I'm going to do 3 different methods on each one of the lids, so you can see, and that way I can show you 3 different techniques. And even when there's like this, and again, nothing on there, I'll still go over that with some sandpaper to give it a really good key. And then once I've done that, I'll go over them with a little bit of alcohol, and that'll get off any grease and dust from those lids. And now they're all clean. Now we've got those clean, what I'm going to do is spray them all, and I'm using a paint that is ideal for metal. So I'm going to spray 1 white, 1 black, and 1 blue, and you'll see why, because I've got different techniques to do on each one of these. Whenever you're spraying, especially if you're spraying inside, always wear a mask and work in a well-ventilated area. I'm going to spray these now, and I'll come back once they're sprayed. I'll give them 2 coats, very light coats of each colour. So I've got my mask on, and I've got my extractor fan on while I do this. Now I'll leave those to dry, and what I'll do is I'll give them 1 more coat once they're dry. They shouldn't take long to dry. These are quick drying paints. Well, that lid now is dry enough for me to put the next coat on. The other 2 I've put in my curing box for a couple of hours because I want to make sure they're fully dry and really hard before I do the next stage. But this one, I want to use this colour shift paint on it. I love this colour shift. It gives such a pretty effect, but you do need to use it on a black base. I've got 2 different colours of it. I've got the Galaxy Green and the Cosmic Blue. And for this one, I'm going to be using the Cosmic Blue. See, if you don't have a black background, it really doesn't show up. And now what I'll do is I'll leave that to dry before I do the next stage. Well, these are all lovely and dry now, and I can get ready to decorate them. And as I said, I'm doing 3 different ones. I'm going on one of them to be using a set of these lips I made. I don't know if you saw this video. I absolutely adore these lips and how they've come out. I think I want to use the tongue on there. Yeah, so look, that's going to jazz that up quite a lot. This one I'm going to do something different, and also on this white one. Now on the white one, what I'm going to be using to start with is a bit of nail art. I use a lot of nail art in my resin, and it's always really cheap. I'm going to be using these transfer stickers. I've got loads of them, and I really like them. I think they're pretty. I want to use this quite psychedelic-y one today. So I cut the pieces I need. It's those pieces. And I want to stick them to start with onto this lid. Let's make sure I've cut big enough pieces because I am likely not to. Top, and the other bits are for the side. Now you do need a base colour under these, and that's why I've chosen white. I think it works so much better with white. And what I'm going to use to stick these down with is good old gilding glue. They should sponsor me, this company, the amount of gilding glue I use. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a whole ring going round the top. I need some more. This is getting a bit old. Look, I've got hardly any left. I keep having to water it down. I don't want any lumps in it. And then I'm going to go across there as well to make sure I've got it fully covered. And then to be extra sure, I'm going to let that dry for 5 minutes. Well, I'm not actually going to let it dry for 5 minutes. What I'm going to do is dry it. Yeah, that's dry. And now I'm going to go over it again to ensure that I haven't missed anywhere. And this isn't all I'm going to do with this, of course. I bet I've still missed somewhere. But if I have now, there's not much I can do about it. And now what I'm going to do is dry that again. Now that's nice and dry, what I can do is put over my sheets. And I always do them face up like this because that's the way you should do them. I need to join that without missing anything. Now what I'll do is I will take a cloth like this and make sure that everywhere is really well adhered to that stuff. That gilding glue. Now, I normally get some misses on this, but I'm not too worried because I've got something else I'm planning to do, because this is literally only going to be the background. You can do this on all sorts of things. You can do it on coasters, you can do it on jewellery, you can do it on loads of different things to get a great effect. Now that's on there, all I need to do is pull off my top tape. And if you do it slowly and you see that there's a bit come up, you can then push that down like I did there. Look at that. So let's hope the second half comes out equally as well. Yeah, look, there we go. We've got a great background. Now, I love the way that is. They've got a little bit of a seam in there, but I'm not too worried about that. Now what I'm going to do is go around the sides in exactly the same way, putting on the gilding paste and then putting on some of these bits as well to make sure I've covered the side. So look how pretty that has come out. I never think the camera picks it up really well, but it comes out awesome, those spray paints. And I've decided I am going to use those lips on it, so I can move those to somewhere safe, ready to be used for something else. And I did say to you I want these to be fabulous. So what I'm going to do is also put some of this shaped glitter on here, going around in different places. So it's the moon and the stars. Now I want some to go on the edges of this, but I'm also going to put some on here, but not too much of it's going to show on there. It's more going to show on that outside ridge. And it would have been much easier if I'd have done this before I did the final spray on that. So what I'm going to do is I am going to spray that again with a little bit more of this colour shift spray. And while it's still wet, I'm going to put these little sparkly bits on it. I don't want to be spraying on this mat directly because that would ruin it. I'm going to put my extractor fan on and give it a quick spray. And while that's still wet, I can sprinkle these on it. There we go. I think that's enough on it now. And I can let that dry. Once it's dry, I can finish that one off. While that's drying, I'm going to prep my flower. Not that one, that is dry. Oh, I've done the edges, look. But while that one's drying, I'm going to prep my flowers. I want a quite bright flower in here, but I also want a contrasting flower as well. And these are the pressed flowers that you can get in a pack from Resiners. I think you get 50 pressed flowers. I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. You'll have to check. I'll link them below. Now, I really like that little group there. I'm going to decide which one I like the best. To me, those colours are getting lost, actually. Maybe I won't use those. Maybe I'll use some yellows. I always have loads of pressed flowers, either ones that I bought or ones that I press myself. Ready and available in my stock because you never know when you're going to need them. Oh yes, I like that on there. I think I need some little bits going around as well. Let's see if this greenery looks nice on there. Yeah, it does, but I think it should be under the flower. I think I'm going to put some green going on that as well all the way around. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I think that looks pretty. And then the flower in the middle. Now, I don't want these to move around at all when I'm putting my resin on. Quickly show you how I'm going to prevent that from happening. Pick up all the flowers that I've dropped. So once again, I'm going to be working using the gilding glue. And I've put a little bit of tape down on my mat to work on, because then I don't get the gilding glue on my mat. And all I do is go over this like this, putting it on leaves, and I'll do it on the flower, let that dry, and then I can push it down onto the actual lid itself, and then it's not going to rise during the curing process of the resin. I can't wait to show you what I'm going to attempt with the blue one, and it's a technique I'm not very good at either, so who knows how it's going to come out. But I love it when it does work. This way as well, you don't trap bubbles underneath it as much because it's stuck right down. And I'll do the same for the flower as well. I'll put some on the back of that, again using a piece of tape first, And then when they're all ready, I'll show you how I'm going to stick them down. So these are dry enough now. All I need to do is lift them off there and put them on the lid where I want them. And then push that down gently. And then go around and do the same for the other ones. And what you can see there is that is attached there really well. Can you hear my air purifier has just kicked in? Listen. The reason that's just kicked in is because I just cleaned these with a little bit of alcohol, and that alcohol is in the air. That's picked it up straight away, and it is it's now trying to purify the air. Don't be under any misconception as well if you see cheaper air purifiers on the market that aren't actually designed for resin. They don't have the patented filter in there that's actually breaks down the resin VOCs and gets rid of them. These are the best ones by Resiners. I've tested it against external monitors and all sorts of things. It is brilliant. But anyway, I just wanted to explain what that slight noise was. That'll go off in a second. Now, I'm not going to need much resin for this. Each one of these is only going to take a small amount of resin. So I'm not going to mix up using my mixer today. And I am going to be using the 2x UV Protect resin. And I'm going to mix up a little bit more than I need. I've got a project on the side that I'm doing for someone that I can then use the extra on. This is the right temperature and it will mix really easily because I've had it in my bottle warmer. I've got my resin mixed up now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly put it through my degasser for about 5 minutes. The bubbles actually don't matter too much for this project, although I'd rather not have them. But for what I'm going to use my leftover resin for, I don't want any bubbles in it whatsoever. So I'm going to put it in my Resiners Airless Pro for 5 minutes. There we go. So the first one I'm going to do is this one, and all I'm doing on this one is pouring a clear top over it. I don't want it to come down the sides of this if I can help it. I'm hoping that the surface tension is going to be enough on this. Oh look, it's coming down the sides already. Probably put too much in here to start with. If it does, it doesn't matter too much. Because, let's just let it go down the sides. Let's do the sides as well. Because it's sitting on this mat, it won't actually go and collect in big bubbles all around the edge. This mat prevents that with the little holes and things. Move that to one side. There we are. I will go over that with a long neck lighter shortly to make sure there is no bubbles that have come to the top. Now this second one I'm using in a similar sort of way. What I'm going to do is pour some in the middle of this. Now this lid is nice. It's got like a little ridge going on in there. So that is going to help it stay where I want it to stay. And then I'm sure you can guess what I'm doing next. All I'm going to do is place that on the top of it like that. Give it a bit of a push. That should dislodge any of the resin that's coming round and out. And now I can coat that up the sides. There we go, and I can push that to one side now. And this one, I've got resin on it already. I'm the messiest person in the world. This one I'm going to try and turn into a little beach scene. So firstly, I need to get some sand. I'm not going to need too much sand. I'm using quite a fine sand here. I'm not very good at these beach scenes. And now I'm going to mix a little bit of resin in there, just enough to make that into a thick paste. Not quite as thick as that. Yeah, that'll do. And now I can put this on here and make that into the beach. I need to pour a little bit of this into here as well, separate, because that's what I'm going to make my surf with. And I'm using a little bit of white alcohol ink in here. Well, quite a lot actually. And I'm going to give that a good mix in. And in this other one, all I'm going to do is a little bit of resin and some blue pigment paste. I need to give this a mix up because I don't use it very often. We've already got blue as the base colour, which is going to help as well. Now I'm going to pour this on here, and now I'm going to add a little bit of this white alcohol ink in here. And now I'm going to blast it with some heat. Add a little bit more in different places. These are all lovely and cured now. I told you I wasn't very good at making beach scenes. They look more like clouds looking down on the beach, but I don't mind. It looks nice. I love the lip one. And again, it's nicely covered around all the edges, and that is on there permanently. And there's no drips on there. That's why it's great working on this type of mat. And the same for the flower lid as well. I wish I'd made a dome for that and magnified it a little bit, but next time maybe. And now all I have to do is put those lids back on, and we've got some really pretty jar lids to store things in. I'm probably going to store sequins or jump rings when I make them. or you could store pens in them or anything. And the resin isn't coming into contact with anything, so you would be quite easy to be able to store foodstuffs in there as well. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that project. I've really enjoyed making it. It's just something a little bit different. Check out the video that I've got coming up next. I think you'll really like that one as well. If you want something a little bit different, boop that like button, hit that subscribe button, but most of all, enjoy your resin. Take care. Bye.